Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you some advice and guidance on how you can start playing competitive Rogue Company. As a caster and former competitive player for Rogue Company, people ask me a lot how they can break into the competitive scene, and in this video I want to just give you some advice about how you can do that. I'm going to give you some avenues to actually start finding a team, because I know that's a big issue for a lot of players, and then I'm going to tell you how to get into scrims and then eventually what you should be doing from there in terms of tournaments. If you do go on to enjoy the video or just want to see daily educational Rogue Company content, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But for now, let's get into it. This is going to run as a checklist, so you want to be doing each of these different stages one at a time, and as you move through them, you'll get closer to be a competitive player. And the first thing I want you to do on your road to becoming a competitive player is actually just to make sure you're ready and take the time to really learn the game. There's no point you joining these competitive discords looking for a team without actually being able to be solid enough as an individual beforehand, because no one's going to want to pick you up. And therefore there are a few things I think you should do before you even start thinking about playing competitively. The first of these is actually going to be make sure you have every rogue unlocked and you've played an okay amount of time with them. Understanding what every rogue does, whether they're your playstyle or not, is important to understand the counterplay to them. Therefore, you can't really understand the game fully or well enough to play competitive unless you know exactly what's going on in the meta and with those specific rogues. You also want to feel comfortable that you've played each map well enough that you kind of understand a little bit of strategies that you might be able to adopt. And of course, you want to be making sure you're winning most of your 1v1 engagements in these public lobbies, so that you can at least be confident going into the competitive scene that you'll be able to hold yourself in a gunfight. And of course, any tips you want to get better as an individual, I have here on this channel, daily educational Rogue Company content coming out to help you guys improve. So now that you feel like you're a solid enough player, how do you transition this into finding a team? This is probably the biggest question that I see in different discords, is people posting and looking for group sections about how can I find a team, or just trying to look for a team. And there's different ways and advice I have for you about actually doing that correctly. The first is going to be to actually use the right Discord servers. You're not necessarily looking for just casual playing, you're looking for more competitive playing, so you want to stick to competitive Discord servers. There's three main ones now that I'm also going to put a link in the description for you to go and look at, but as a side note, you can also go into your favorite content creators Discords, sign up there because they normally have a looking for group section as well, and that generally gives you like-minded people who enjoy the same content. There's talking points, it's a bit easier, so you can definitely look at those sort of community Discords, but these three are going to be the big ones that will actually help you find a looking for group. I've also gone through to make sure these are still active Discords where you will be able to find people constantly posting for teams. The three Discords I want you to go look at are the Rogue Company Discord, the Rogue Company Esports Discord, and a new Discord that is up and coming but is trying to focus on this looking for group and rogue advice and things, and there's a good Discord I think you should check out. That is the Rogue Community Discord. Links for all of those are going to be in the description, but there's actually things you can do when you go into these sections to actually help yourself find a team better. The channel you're looking for is generally called something like Looking for Group, or LFG, or LFT, which is Looking for Team, some sort of abbreviation of that should be able to find a team. And in the Rogue Company Esports one, they actually have different sections for NA, Europe, PC, Xbox. It's all sort of subsets, so you can really be specific about what type of players you're looking for. And remember, it's not about just posting your own, hey, I'm looking for a team. It's also about going through other people's messages and finding somebody that you might want to play with as well. It's no good just putting your own information out there. You need to be searching for other people's. It does require yourself to put yourself out there a little bit. In terms of your actual message you want to write though, you want to be kind of specific. Saying, hey, anyone want to play some games, or hey, I want to find a team isn't really good enough. You want to be specific about the things you're putting in there. These are going to be things like your level, your rank, what region you're from, what platform you're on. All the information someone's actually going to want to know before trying to sign you up to a team. It could be how many kills you have, it could be what rogues you main. There's many different factors that you can add into that message that is more than just, hey, I'm looking for a team. And that will actually get you more responses because people know what they're looking for. They can see you on paper and be like, yes, that guy looks cool. So that's my best advice to help you actually find a team. And remember, those links to those Discords are down in the description, along with my own Discord, which has a looking for group section as well. So now that you have your team of 4 people, or potentially some subs as well, maybe there's a tryout process and you're accepted. But when you have that team, what should you do from there to start building into being a competitive team? Well, the first thing you need to do as a team is actually get some synergy and cohesion between you and actually test yourself as a team. I don't think it's great going into a tournament straight away, or even going to scrims off the first rip. You probably want to be finding out your groove. Just play a few ranked matches together, play a few public matches if you really want, and just make sure you're all on the same lines. Make sure you go over different maps and the callouts you want to give on those maps, and just really talk it through about exactly how you're gelling as a team. Find out who has what playstyle and whose playstyles adapt with what, whether you're actually going for a really big rush strategy or whether you're actually more defensive players. Figure out what your strengths and weaknesses as a team initially so that you can actually see if you're compatible, because you don't want to go into these later stages without actually knowing if you're good enough as a team to get there. If your team is struggling with callouts, I think you should check out my map guides and callout videos that I have on this channel. I go over every single map and different locations there, and just some guides about different strategies that might give you a good footing to start. But honestly, playing these ranked matches and public matches is not what's going to define you as a good or bad team. This is where scrims come involved. For those of you who do not know, scrims are 4v4 custom matches that you have against another team in a set environment. So you may say, let's do a best of 3, let's do a best of 5, or let's just play one map. You set the map, you set the host, and you play against each other. What this allows you to do is actually play against other teams looking to be competitive or who are already in the competitive scene and gauge your sort of value against them. There's no point just pub stomping. You want to play against better players and you want to be learning from them. You can normally find players to scrim on the same discords I mentioned before. It's a cliche, but trust me, there's more value learned in a loss than a victory, and this is what scrims can really teach you. Learning other people's strategies and how you can adapt to them to beat them is really important, and nothing tests your cohesion as a team more than that. I find a lot of teams, including some of the top competitive teams, lose a tournament and split up, which is really not great because you need to be practicing together for a long time to be able to get to a really solid state. Therefore, do these scrims, find out if you're compatible, and keep working through it. Even those tough losses, make sure you're not arguing, make sure you're just looking at things constructively. Use VOD review, and this is a massive thing. Go back and look at your VODs and actually try and analyze exactly where you and your team went wrong and how you could adapt it in the future. It's okay to lose scrims, and in theory it's ideal because you're just going over new strategies and you're just trying to figure out exactly what works for you and your teammate. And then once you have scrimmed enough and you feel like you're good enough to enter a tournament, there's a lot of different options you can do to start getting your name out onto the tournament scene. There's a lot of community stuff that goes on that you can get involved in and start to get a bit more practice. Treat these more as like higher level scrims, but the real tournament stuff are things I'm going to tell you now. The biggest rogue company tournament site currently out there that is available to everybody is going to be the CMG Checkmate Gaming tournaments. Checkmate Gaming hosts tournaments for every single day. They're not always 4v4 demolition tournaments, but generally there are a good few mixed in there throughout the week. And you want to just be making sure you're entering these and playing against some of these teams in a really competitive sense and putting all that work you've done to the test. These tournaments are actually held in quite big regard, and you can get some really good competitive teams sign up to them if they're not doing something else. So you do want to be putting yourself in this bracket. They're available to everyone. There are some free entry ones, there are some paid entry ones, and some are capped at different levels. CMG have a sort of rating system whereby how you place in their tournaments will sort of determine your rating, and only certain ratings like amateur can be in some, expert can only be in some, for example. Therefore, these CNGs are things you want to be grinding out, as well as some community tournaments, and continually to play these scrims. Find teams within those tournaments that you're like, yes, I want to play them again, I want to learn from them, and play them in a scrim afterwards throughout the week, whatever it be, and just continue to learn from this game. To be a top team like T1 or Era Eternity, you have to put in some serious work with your team and not split up. These teams are good because they do not break apart every single time they lose a tournament, and instead they go back to the drawing board, they learn, they scrim, and they continue to play well. And that's what you guys have to do, and that's really my advice of a step-by-step process to go from as an individual player to finding a team to practicing to doing these tournaments and making your name for yourself by actually performing well in these tournaments. That's going to take us to the end of the video, guys, and if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING to see live gameplay commentaries, guides, Q&As, and playing with viewers. All the links you're going to need are down in the description below, but for now, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.